Hi, I'm Gokul, head of the Department of Forensic Science, and today I'm going to talk about the definition and concepts of forensic science. So, what do you mean by forensic science? What comes to your mind when you think about forensic science? So, these are the topics which will come to your mind first. It will be CID, crimes, investigation, crime scene, murder, handwriting, and all the rest topics which comes to your mind first when you hear the word forensic science. So, in basic words, if we say what is forensic science, simple words it will be, it is the use of science in criminal cases, or in simple words it is the use of science to solve the crimes. So what we do in forensic science? We collect the evidences, we process the evidences in the lab, we analyze them, and we testify it in front of the court, saying that if the evidence is linked to the crime scene or not, if it is linked to the criminal or not. Then the basic definition, standard one, which we follow is, it is the scientific discipline which is directed to the recognition, identification, individualization and evaluation of physical evidences by the application of the principle and methods of natural science for the purpose of administration of criminal justice. So this is the basic definition which is given. So now we'll see what does the definition actually means. So recognition means we analyze the crime scene, we find out the potential evidences which are there, we take a closer look at the crime scene and see that if it is an appropriate evidence to be considered for the case or not. After that, we try to separate what is needed and what is not. After which we have the next one, which is the identification. After we recognize our evidences, we try to identify which evidence is actually useful for us, and we try to collect it and take it carefully and see that if the evidence is linked to the humans or it is not a human sample. After which there is individualization, which means that we try to specify if it is really linked to that particular individual or not. Here we can see the blood samples, hair samples, fingerprints, shoe prints, which will help us to individualize a particular person. Next we have the evaluation of this physical evidences. Evaluation will be when we are taking these evidences further to our lab for further testing. So first we collect the evidence, we process them, the evidence, and we try to analyze them in our lab, and after which we have a solid proof, we take it to the court. So what are the different types of physical evidences that we can find on the crime scene? We have the fingerprints, bite marks, blood spatter, then we have handwriting, shoe print, mud stain, then hair sample, gunshot, CCTV footage, all the rest evidences. So taking a closer look at each of the evidence and how we analyze them, first we have the fingerprint analysis. So fingerprints are the main evidences which we can find on every crime scene. It can be collected from a live person also, from a dead person also. Next we have serology and toxicology. Serology will be mainly evaluation of the blood samples, and toxicology will be evaluation of the stomach contents, where we can find in the poisoning cases and all. Next we have forensic pathology, where the autopsies and all are involved, where they take the dead body for further investigation, and this is done by the medical practitioners. Mainly we can see during the death and homicide cases, even in the arsenic poisoning cases. Main use of this will be we can identify the time since then when the person was actually dead and what type of weapon was used for his death. Next we have anthropology. If the dead body has been remained for a long period of time, then from the bones remain we can identify when the person was dead, what was the sex of the person, what was the age of the person, that can also be identified. Then DNA analysis is the most potential evidence. If we find a DNA sample, we can collect it and we can analyze and see if it is linked to the criminal, the victim, and we can try to identify. Then cyber forensic and computer science are the newly emerging field. We can find the deleted data from the hard disk, the file, the systems, and also the audio video analysis, like to find and identify if there is a ransom call or any other fake messages for threatening calls and all. Then ballistics is your investigation of your gunshot residues, identifying which bullet was used, but what type of gun was used. Then we have question documents, which is the handwriting analysis. One example here is we can identify the forgeries. What are the different types? This is for a check. there is an alteration done here, so you can identify if it is done by the same person or another. That is your question document analysis. So these are your various fields of forensic science.